Learning objective number 4 is to show the effects on contribution margin of changes in variable costs, fixed costs, selling price, and volume. The variable expense ratio is the ratio of variable expenses to sales. It can be computed by dividing the total variable expenses by the total sales, or in a single product analysis, it can be computed by dividing the variable expenses per unit by the unit selling price. At Racing Bicycle, the variable expense ratio is 60%. Let's assume that the management of RBC believes it can increase unit sales from 500 to 540 if it spends $10,000 on advertising. Would you recommend that the advertising campaign be undertaken? See if you can solve this problem before going to the next screen. As you can see, even if sales revenue increases to $270,000, RBC will experience a $12,000 increase in variable costs and a $10,000 increase in fixed costs, the new advertising campaign. As a result, net operating income will actually drop by $2,000. The advertising campaign certainly would not be a good idea. We can help management see the problem before any additional monies are spent. Here is a shortcut approach to looking at the problem. You can see that an increase in contribution margin is more than offset by the increased advertising costs. Management at RBC believes that using higher quality raw materials will result in an increase in sales from 500 to 580. The higher quality raw materials will lead to a $10 increase in variable costs per unit. Would you recommend the use of the higher quality raw materials? Take a couple of minutes, help management solve this problem before moving to the next slide. As you can see, revenues will increase by $40,000, 80 bikes times $500 per bike, and variable costs will increase by $29,800. Contribution margin will increase by $10,200. With no change in fixed costs, net operating income will also increase by $10,200. The use of higher quality raw materials appears to be a profitable idea. Here is a more complex situation. What is the profit impact if RBC 1. Cuts its selling price $20 per unit, 2. Increases its advertising budget by $15,000 per month, and 3. Increases sales from 500 to 650 units per month? This appears to be a good plan because net operating income will increase by $2,000. Take a few minutes and analyze the change in sales revenue, variable expenses, and fixed expenses. Here is another complex question involving cost-volume profit relationships. What is the profit impact if RBC 1. Pays a $15 sales commission per bike sold instead of paying salesperson's flat salaries that currently total $6,000 per month, and 2. Increases unit sales from 500 to 575 bikes? Net operating income increased by $12,375. Notice that sales revenue and variable expenses increased as well. Fixed expenses were decreased as a result of making sales commissions variable in nature. How did you do? We hope you are beginning to see the potential power of CVP analysis. Suppose RBC has a one-time opportunity to sell 150 bikes to a wholesaler. There would be no change in the cost structure as a result of this sale. Racing wants the one-time sale to produce a profit of $3,000. What selling price should RBC quote to the wholesaler? Part 1. If we desire a profit of $3,000 on the sale of 150 bikes, we must have a profit of $20 per bike. The variable expenses associated with each bike are $300, so we would quote a selling price of $320. Part 2. You can see the proof of the quote. If we quote a price of $320 per unit and sell an additional 150 units, sales will go up by $48,000. Variable costs for the 150 units is $45,000, so net operating income increases by the difference $3,000.